We do have some breaking news coming out of London at this point in time. And speaking of a bloke that probably needs an image overhaul, it's British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The Sue Gray report has been handed down overnight about the incident happening with Partygate, where a whole bunch of staffers and politicians were issued with fines for holding parties during Britain's lockdown. Let's just have a look at what the PM has had to say in the Commons this morning or overnight over here.
I want to begin today by renewing my apology to the House, to the whole country, for the short lunchtime gathering on the 19th of June 2020 in the Cabinet Room, during which I stood at my place at the Cabinet table and for which I received a fixed penalty notice. And I also want to say, Mr. Speaker, above all, that I take full responsibility for everything that took place on my watch. Sue Gray's report has emphasised that it is up to the political leadership in Number 10 to take ultimate responsibility, and of course I do.
Oh, Daisy, I just don't even know where to start with this. Should he have fallen on his sword?
I don't know what Boris should have done. I'm just so completely disgusted with this whole thing. I mean, we as Australians know how dreadful lockdowns are. I mean, you know, Lisa and I live in Brisbane, you live in Perth. We escaped the worst of it. But Sydney and Melbourne, oh my God, you've got lives ruined, terrible stress, a youth mental health crisis, businesses shut for good. Can you imagine how the people of Sydney and Melbourne would feel if one of our leaders was photographed having parties and not following rules while they were suffering terribly? I mean, we as visually would know exactly how the British public feel seeing Boris Johnson doing this, considering they went through the same thing. I don't think he should be able to come back from this. It's the most disgusting display of hypocrisy, and I completely wash my hands of Boris Johnson. I can't ever look at him again. It's dreadful.
Yeah, Lise, I think one thing you could understand that, you know, if he'd done a solid by the British public and, you know, the NHS was working well, there was no economic crisis, he wasn't then pushing the green agenda, which has got him on the side of Anthony Albanese, they'd be able to look at that. But the fact that this guy has not only had parties happen on his watch, he attended them and held them.
Yeah, and how damning was the photograph or the photographs that came out of him actually holding up the glass and toasting? Like that was what sealed the deal for me. It was he's tried to dodge this as much as he possibly can, and at this point now he has no option or had no option but to stand up and claim full responsibility for it, because there was photographic evidence, for goodness sake. And this is at a time when we saw the Queen sit alone at her husband's funeral.
I know.
It is inexcusable. Yeah, not to mention other people across the UK who, as Daisy said, were locked down, were not able to attend funerals. All of the pain and suffering that we saw everybody go through in lockdowns, and here he is holding up a glass, having a party. Yeah. It is outrageous, and it will not be forgiven.
No, absolutely. That's definitely not leadership.